Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. You guys already know I usually do product advertisement tutorials, but recently I've been getting into toon-style anime FX and animations. I've been playing around with a few of them, and I'm super excited to share what I've made with you. So these two effects, the vortex and the fireball, are actually made using just shaders. This green one is made with modifiers, and honestly, both of them look really good to me. In today's tutorial, I'll be focusing on this tornado or vortex effect. I'll walk you through how I made it step by step so you can create it too. So, let's get started. We'll start by creating a circle and modeling a rough cone-like shape. Blender already has a cone primitive, but that one didn't really work for me, so I made my own. I'm using the proportional editing tool to reshape it the way we need. Now let's jump into the shader editor and create a new shader. First, delete the principled BSDF and add a Voronoi texture. Now, plug the Voronoi texture straight into the surface input. Press Ctrl+T to add the mapping and texture coordinate nodes. Just make sure you have the Node Wrangler add-on enabled. Next, increase the scale value in the Voronoi texture to get a denser pattern. In the mapping node, set the X scale to 0 and the Y scale to 0.1 to stretch the texture the way we need. To animate the vortex, we'll move the texture in the X direction. For that, add a driver and type in #frame/100. What this does is it automatically shifts the texture along the X-axis as the frames progress, making it look like the vortex is spinning and moving continuously. Now, add a color ramp node between the Voronoi texture and the material output. Then, change the color ramp's interpolation from linear to constant so we get those sharp, toon-style bands instead of smooth gradients. In the color ramp, the white part represents the visible areas of the vortex, and the black part represents transparency, meaning those areas won't show up. By sliding the white handle, you can control how much of the vortex is visible, almost like masking it out. The more you push the white, the thicker and bolder the effect will look, while pulling it back will make it thinner and more subtle. So, set the gradient based on how strong you want your toon vortex to appear. Instead of plugging the color ramp directly into the material output, let's add a mix shader in between. For the two shader inputs, add an emission shader and a transparent shader, and connect them to the bottom sockets of the mix shader. This way, the color ramp will control which parts are glowing and which parts stay transparent. Now, instead of using the color ramp for masking, add a math node above it. Change the operation to greater than. This way, only the values greater than the threshold you set will be visible, while the rest will stay transparent. Adjusting the threshold lets you control how much of the vortex shows up. Now, connect the color ramp output into the math node, and then plug the math node into the fractal of mix shader output. This way, the math node will control the visibility based on the color ramp values. And that's it, the effect is done. Now you can play around with the gradient colors in the color ramp to style your vortex however you like. Finally, increase the emission strength to make the vortex glow more intensely. This will really help it pop and give that stylized anime look. I'm also adding a bit of compositing to enhance the look. Just drop in a glare node, set it to bloom, and connect it in between. This will give the vortex a nice glowing effect.